1996, 28-year-old Paljor Tawang was offered the opportunity of a lifetime. Born and raised in a valley at the foot of the Himalayas, he was chosen to lead the first ever Indian ascent of the north face of the highest peak in the world, Mount Everest. He had left school after the 10th grade and joined the highly competitive and prestigious Indo-Tibetan Border Police. The Border Police specialized in high-altitude landscapes. In May of that year, Paljor said bye to his family, and he and the other hikers set out on their journey. At first, it went extremely well, but their luck would not hold. The team's final assault on the north face of Mount Everest was marked by mistakes, bad decisions, and very bad weather. According to the official report on the ascent, those problems started on the morning of May 10th when Paljor and the other three climbers woke up late. Instead of leaving base camp at 3:30 a.m. like they were planning to, they didn't leave until 8 a.m. Climbers and scientists have a name for the final half mile of Mount Everest. It's called the death zone because oxygen is so limited up there that your cells just begin to die, and extremely fit people will have heart attacks and strokes. But one of the biggest killers in the death zone is something called summit fever. When you get to that point in the climb, you are so close to reaching your goal. People will disregard safety and keep going on when really they should turn around and go back. Paljor and his three teammates were given strict orders to turn around at 3 p.m. if they had not reached the summit yet. But because of their late start, when 3 p.m. rolled around, they were not at the summit, they were in the death zone. He was at the very back of the climbing staff. He stopped and he yelled up to Paljor and the others and tried to get them to stop too, but either they didn't hear him or they just ignored him. Grabbed his radio and he tried to hail them, but they didn't pick up their radio. About 30 minutes later, the commander's radio crackled on again, and it was Paljor and the others, and they were informing him that they were going to make a push for the summit. And the commander said, "Stop!" They refused. But 2.5 hours later, his radio crackled again, and this time it was Paljor and the others saying they were standing on the summit of Mount Everest. Shortly after the victory call, the weather turned from bad to horrible. What would later be known as the blizzard of 1996, and by midnight that night, no one had heard from Paljor or the other two people he was with. And just a couple of days later, rescue climbers would confirm all three men had died. This hopeful and proud young Indian has become a sort of gruesome celebrity and landmark for the thousands of climbers that make it up into the death zone. Except now he's widely known as Green Boots, which is a reference to the bright neon green boots he was wearing when he died. For more than 20 years, he's laid near the top of Mount Everest in a small limestone cave wearing an orange parka and blue pants, and he's curled on his side with his arms wrapped around him like he's trying to keep himself warm. Since his death, anyone climbing the north face when the snow cover is light would literally have to step over his body to get to the top. There are over 200 other dead climbers littering the slopes of the world's highest peak. It's just too dangerous and too expensive to try to get them down, and so they stay wherever they died. Which means if you climb Mount Everest, you will literally be climbing over dead bodies on your way to the summit. Here is an image of Paljor, aka Green Boots.